Hey, today I have a special lens with me. This is a Fujinon 500mm f5.6. A lot of you that are watching this video are not going to buy this lens, but I'm sure you're as curious as I was to know how good it performs and how good it is. First thing I want to tell you right off the bat is that this is a 762mm full frame equivalent. That gives you a bit of a perspective as to how far you can take photos using this lens. As mentioned in the intro of this video, the maximum aperture is f5.6 and the minimum aperture is f22. Being able to open at f5.6 is great if you compare it to the same focal length with the 150-600 that opens at f8. This lens is incredibly lightweight. In fact, the lens itself is 1.33 kg, and if you pair it to, for example, the XH2 that I have here, it is under 2 kilos. That is not a lot, especially considering the size of this thing, the fact that it's a 500mm, the fact that it's optically stabilized, I'll tell you more about that in a moment, and so on. It is actually pretty impressive. What that also means is that you're not gonna have to use a tripod all the time, and if you want to take a handheld shot because you saw something that you like, you can just do it. In fact, all the photos you've seen and you're gonna see in this video were shot without a tripod. As I said, this is stabilized. It has optical image stabilization, OIS. And in fact, it gives you up to 5.5 stops of stabilization. When you're going to take a photo with your camera, what you see in the viewfinder is this sort of readjustment of the framing, and basically what it does is that it locks in place your framing, and then when you move a little bit, it moves and then it locks it in place again so that you can take a stable photo. In terms of looks, I really like the design. I like this rubbery end here, so if it bumps against something, it's safe. Also, if you put it like this, it's not going to move, and they added a little green highlight at the end here on the hood that I really like. It's not necessary, but I like to see it because it gives it a touch of class. I wish Fuji would come out with a wide camera. I mean, why not, right? There is one drawback. Bear with me, this is a bit of an interesting drawback, but as I was taking photos with this, first off, this is not the kind of focal length or lens that I would use for my everyday photography. I'm not that type of shooter, but I've been using in the past the 150-600. I've tested it on this channel. You can go check up here. It was a comparison with other lenses, but I like the fact that you have a zoom that goes from 150 to 600. Yes, you lose a little bit of light when you get towards around 500 and 600 millimeters, but that one stop of light that you lose, it also gives you more flexibility. This is a 500 millimeters prime. Now, if you think about it for a second, that means that if you're gonna take a photo of something that's away from you, you need to know exactly where to go to catch your subject at the right distance. For example, when I went to La Vallée Giu here in Switzerland, which is a lake nearby, I wanted to take a photo of a huge statue on the lake. You can see it here. But I wasn't able to take the feet of the statue because it was not far enough. And the funny thing is, I was really far from that statue. I was at the other end of the lake, so I could not go farther away. I didn't have enough room behind me to do that. And that's what I mean when I say you're stuck with 500 millimeters, wherein 150-600 means that you can choose how much you want to zoom, and it's better to be zoomed out a little bit and then crop in later in post than not being able to do that. Price-wise, we are at around $3,000 for this beauty. It is actually impressive that they managed to fit an f5.6 500 millimeters into such a beautiful lightweight body, so stable, so smooth, and so sharp. It is really sharp. I enjoy the results. I enjoy the photos that I took here in winter. It was really cold, but I really enjoyed using it. Let me know what you think about this 500mm, and be honest, did you watch this video because you were curious, or did you watch it because you would like to buy it? I see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any of my future content, and until then, keep taking great shots. Cheers.